Hello, T-Bird Nation. This is Jason Beatty, co-for Athletic Director, Southern Utah University. Wanted to take the first opportunity here with the monthly Athletic Directors Update to connect with one of our student athletes, Fesi Vaa'ivaka. So, Fesi, I have some beef. James Cowser on Saturday grabbed me on the field and said that I stole your look, and I think it may be the other way around. How do you feel about that? Maybe I shouldn't have a beef with somebody that weighs a little bit more than I do, but I thought that was a pretty funny comment.
That was pretty funny.
I heard he was giving you the same.
Yeah.
He was giving you the same hard time, right?
The first time we seen you with your head shaved and your beard, they're like, "Hey, you're a beautiful first twin." Hey.
I'm rocking the Fesi Vaa'ivaka.
It's a compliment for me, so I'll take it.
There you go. Appreciate that. So tell us where you're from. I travel a lot. I'm a foodie. I know you're Tongan, but kind of tell me maybe exactly where your roots are, and I'm curious, just being the world traveler that I am, to kind of hear about your background.
True. I'm originally from the island of Tonga, and moved out to Salt Lake to go to school, and pretty much just grew up like around the Salt Lake Valley area, and ended up here in Cedar.
All right.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that in Tongan culture that there's some delicacies that you may dine on, things that aren't typical in the United States. So I was kind of curious if you could give us a little feedback on that. And does it lead to the fact that how much do you weigh right now?
About 375.
375. Yeah. So is that are those nutrition habits from your culture? Has that led to your success on the football field?
Most definitely. The infamous horse meat.
Okay.
Every islander you ask about from the island of Tonga, they always make fun of Tongans for eating horse. But I know that's kind of sad out here.
Have you eaten horse yourself?
Of course.
Of course, yeah. What, do you like it?
I do.
So tell me, is it chicken? Is it like chicken? Is it like beef? Is it? I've never personally dined on horse, so.
I don't think you can really compare it to anything but horse. So.
Okay, horse is horse. That's fair. All right. Talk to me a little bit about the brotherhood. It seems like the camaraderie and just the culture of this program, this football program, is really one that is, brotherhood is just the first word that comes to my mind. And what does that mean to you personally? And what's your perspective on that culture?
Again, for me personally, grew up in a family-oriented environment, and so family and brotherhood is huge to me. And so the same aspect goes into the whole team role. We address each other as family, always in meetings, pre-game, after the game. We're always battling for our brothers, and so it puts that whole determination to a whole different level. You're not only fighting for a program, but you're fighting for your family. Mm-hmm. And so it makes it that much more, especially when you go out there knowing that you put in all this hard work with your family during the week, and then to go out and show it at the end of the week makes it that much more special. So brotherhood's big, Mm-hmm. I fight for my brothers all day, any day, man. So.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about work ethic. I think that two of the kind of attributes that are really important to me personally, just from being raised in a small town Iowa farming community, work ethic and accountability were two things that were very front and center of my upbringing. And I feel like this football program, and as I mentioned before, I feel like you lead by example, and work ethic and accountability are kind of two things that hit me in the face when I think about Fesi Vaa'ivaka. Talk to me a little bit about that culture within the team, and Will Greenberg had mentioned to me that you really hit it hard this summer, and talked about like 30 minutes of squats and some things that probably are a little bit sensitive to you after all that work that you put in. But I'm kind of curious to hear about how work ethic and accountability is woven into the program, but also into this summer training program that our new head strength and conditioning coach Will Greenberg led this summer.
It really boils down to nothing comes easy, and I'm pretty sure the majority of the guys on the team that I know and that I associate with on an everyday basis, work ethic comes from when you're raised, like you mentioned before. And so for us to go into the weight room in the summer and hit it every day hard, and like keep hitting it every day, with the fact knowing that because we are Big Sky champions, doesn't give us the right to be complacent and all of a sudden lose all the work that we've done before, you know? The fact that we are champions makes us have to work a lot more harder, you know, and puts a bigger target on our back. And so work ethic and accountability comes in a lot more stronger, especially this season for us, you know, because there's something that we have to prove. And I don't know, like you said, it's a blessing to have our coaches and a man like Will Greenberg to keep like embedding that in us, you know. He always tries to bring the energy and instill work ethic with us right from the beginning in the morning, you know, and it tries our best to move on from the morning to the afternoon to our practices. And so work ethic and accountability, it's on top with everything else that we have to do to be successful. So
that's great. Tell me, you hit a little bit about changes in personnel, and obviously, you know, in late December we, you know, received notice of Ed Lamb's departure, and went through a national search for our next head football coach, and through that process, you know, we went through an exhaustive national search, and it was you know, refreshing to, at the end of that search, to have somebody, you know, a young man in Demario Warren elevate himself as the best candidate for this head coaching position. Tell me a little bit about that transition, and you've just hit on it a little bit, but tell me a little bit about that transition, and talk just a little bit about Demario. And I know that the defense was very vocal when we were going through the search process. I had a number of guys come up to me, and the offense as well, and say, hey, this is the guy, and for that to be validated was very rewarding for myself. But I'm kind of curious to hear about, you know, that transition for you personally.
Yeah, for me personally, like I said, I owe a lot to Coach Lamb, because he was the person who offered for me to come play for SUU, and so a lot of love and a lot of respect for that man. And when he left, you know, it was kind of, at first you kind of didn't know what to think, you know. You're like, this is a man who's been rebuilding this program for so long. But when we kind of found out, or had it in our heads, that Warren was going to be the one to replace him, you know, it just gave you like a new sense of hope, because you know that, oh, here's another man who's just as capable as Coach Lamb, but also brings his own different flavor and his own different dynamic to the group, you know. And the fact is that we already trust this man because he's been our defensive coordinator. The transition would have been very easy for us, as if we were to accept a whole new coach, you know, from a different program to try and readapt to his culture. The fact that Warren pretty much built his culture off what Lamb has established, but then now he's putting in his own new foundation for it, you know. And so the transition has been very easy in the sense because of Coach Warren and who he is, you know, the type of man he is. It's easy to follow a man like that. Just the way he deals with all the personalities on the team, you know. He doesn't take everything too personal, depending on who you are and stuff like that, you know. He knows how to kind of motivate and encourage and never criticize, you know, and which is great. And so just the transitioning from that aspect has been smooth for me, you know, honestly for me, and I can speak for most guys on the team. So it's just a blessing. So
that's great. So, you know, you just hit on Demario Warren and his leadership, and you turned 30 this month, or October, I guess, which is a milestone. I turned 40 in November, so I got you by 10 years. But talk a little bit. Demario, I believe, just turned 31.
I know, right?
So talk a little bit about the dynamics of, again, the elder statesman, but also kind of, you know, interfacing with Coach Warren, and, you know, when you're basically in the exact same age footprint, you know.
It's funny because, I mean, with the coaching component out of it, you know, we're just middle-aged men, like friends, you know, which is cool.
That's cool.
But with him being the coach, you know, automatically I throw age out of that whole thing, you know. He's my coach, he's my leader, so I will be just like every other player, you know. And he doesn't treat me any different, you know. He doesn't treat me different in comparison to everybody else, you know. Maybe the way we talk sometimes would be a little bit different, but he coaches me the same. He yells at me the same as everybody else on the team. So, which is cool, you know. And but if you take everything else out of that and to see another 30-year-old man yell at another 30-year-old man, it's kind of it's crazy.
It's funny, yeah. I sense that there's some good dynamics there, and I can sense a strong mutual level of respect from what I've seen. So it has to be. It's a unique unique dynamics, but it's been really neat for me to be able to watch that and again see that mutual level of respect. All right, Fesi, we greatly appreciate you taking the time here this morning to connect with the athletic director, and I have really appreciated the relationship that we've had over the last 14 months, and I'm really proud of you. The impact that you've had on the field and on this program, as well as your academic pursuits, and the impact that you've had in the community, through community service and things of that nature. You're one of the shining stars in our department, and I'm proud of you, and looking forward to continuing this season and seeing you do big things.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you to this guy right here, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep.